Good evening, everyone. Good morning, wherever you are in the world, to another Trekker update today on the 23rd of January. Here live from from the boat in the Netherlands. It's super stormy. We have 9 before, gusting tonight, and I just got completely soaked. I hope wherever you are, you're warm and dry. And before we actually go into the Trekker update, what I wanted to do is to go and have a look at the comments from yesterday. There we go. I'm still here in the corner. Hello. So we got some questions there from the live yesterday. And the first one was, someone caught a super tuna. That is correct. Spirit of Helsinki, they had this massive tuna. I don't know. They needed 2 people to hold it. That would have been a couple thousand bucks in Japan on the fish market. So they must be feeding. They must be still eating from that. I guess. I hope they filleted it immediately. Put it in the fridge for half an hour. That's what I do. Catch a tuna, take the fillets off immediately, put them in the fridge, and then after half an hour they're nice and firm, and then you can chop them up into sashimi, and then you have the finest tuna sashimi. So but it was Spirit of Helsinki. They caught a nice tuna yesterday. Then the other question was that was quite nice, from Christine Webb, viewing from the ship Le Soleil, as we are sailing south of Auckland to Ross Sea and Arctic. Wow, Christine, I hope everything is going well. I wish you a safe voyage, and I hope that Le Soleil will make it to Antarctica. Amazing, another adventure just right there. Then we had, that was an interesting one as well, from Gabe Grace. Thanks for your comment. He was asking, how do they plot if there's fog? So dead reckoning. Simple as that. Just keep dead reckoning. At some point, the fog will usually go away and the clouds will go away. So it's usually not longer than a week or so. So and there's nothing to hit, right? I mean, they're just about to get to Point Nemo. So the furthest point away from any place of land, from any plot of land. So there's no risk of hitting anything there. And so it's just that reckoning. That means you take the speed. You have your ship's log, so you have your speed, you have your compass course, and you just keep plotting based on those information where you probably are. And usually, like currents, tides, and so on, are getting more and more irrelevant the further they get offshore. But of course, for example, if you go across the Magulus current, like south of South Africa, it would have a massive impact, and that makes that reckoning very, very complicated, right? But anyway, so it's just that reckoning, that's it, until they can do a Saxon side again. And then the second question from Gabe was, New Zealand Air Force. Is New Zealand Air Force on standby, Mayday, rescue purposes? What's the race protocol? So before the start of every leg, we make a safety book with all the information, all the PLB numbers, all the next of kin information of every crew member on each boat. And then we send them to the relevant MRCC, the Maritime Rescue Coordination Centers. And with them together, we developed a rescue plan, or we assist them in the rescuing operation. And for example, with Tapio, when doing the GGR, he was in the area of the MRCC South Africa. They received the Mayday, so if the EPIRB, the distress, goes off, it goes to the next MRCC and to Grisnez as well. And then we work with them together for the rescue operation, and what's the best step, which is the next available boat. In our case, if something should happen right now, I mentioned that yesterday, it would most likely be a fallow entrant, and then we would work together with the MRCC to reroute another entrant in the race to assist for the rescue. Anything you said Air Force, so probably referring to helicopters or anything airborne. That's all managed then by the MRCC, as those are government planes, for example, and helicopters, or also MRCCs are entitled to reroute container ships or any ship that is available and can provide assistance. So that's usually the protocol. But yeah, we inform them all before before each leg with who's on which boat, what are the numbers. So if they receive a mayday, they usually, so if they press the EPIRB or if a PLB, a personal locator beacon that everybody has on their life jacket, if those go off, they see the code, the hex code, the hexadecimal code, which means that it's a code of numbers and letters, and then they can sort this number directly to our emergency sheet, and then they know who it is, which boat it is, and then can get in contact with us. So that's protocol. But enough of that. If you have questions, drop them in the comments down below, and we take them up. So I hope you've been following the last 24 hours as the fleet is continuing their descent towards the high pressure. At least they have a nice breeze again, and as I mentioned yesterday, as predicted, everybody is now heading a west-southwesterly course, east-southeasterly course, with the northeasterly winds from the high pressure system, and thus dipping down below between the two Southern Ocean waypoints that we put there to prevent them from going too far south, so they don't sail into any floating ice or any big growlers or whatever may come from the Antarctic. So Neptune is now carrying on their easterly course. So they dipped south, and as I imagined, or as I was mentioned yesterday, they're probably saying, okay, let's stick to 51. Let's not go any further south. So it will be interesting for them, depending on how the high is developing. It's going to work out fine for them. It's going to be really, really well. They're just going to keep having a beam reach condition, and they probably are in the best spot of everyone in the fleet. Same with Triana, Penduik, and Translator 9. They've been really fast. 9 knots now, 7.8, but they covered really good ground over the last hours. Since the update from yesterday, Spirit of Helsinki now heading south. Now they kind of now realize, oh crikey, dang it, we were too far north. We gotta go south now. So it's gonna be tricky for them. They can't really go any higher to the wind here, so they have to go really southeasterly course. They will lose further ground as the boats down here, Penduik, Translate 9, Triana, Neptune, Galliana was secure. They can all get much more easting into it and eat some miles out, and especially Galliana was secure right there. They're pretty much on the perfect line on the arc to make it around the next waypoint, which is just 800 miles away. It's still a lot, but they're eating miles very quickly here. So with them is also White Shadow, and we see White Shadow has a little crown on, and that means they are first in Sayula class. I mentioned that briefly yesterday. I'm so happy. JC and the crew, they have such a nice team going on. They have such a nice vibe. Spanish, French, I mean, it's the best of all. And I'm really happy to see that they are first in Sayula class and doing so well. Translate 9 also with Simon, proving the concept. The boat is really good, and still sailing up in the front pack there with Penduik 6. So we still have them on the front. Maiden 7.7, very steady, very steady course, and then we have Outlaw. Sterner lagging a bit behind now, lagging a lot behind, 1.3 knots. Ouch. No wind here, so that's interesting, and Explorer is just heading into it. So if we go forward, that's tomorrow UTC noon, so a bit afternoon. It's 1:30 UTC. Sterner will find a little breeze again. So does Explorer. Neptune will have quite some breeze. That will be probably going up to 30 knots there, gusting 35, 40. So they will be right in it. Southern Ocean, right there. While we're talking about it, let's have a look at the temperatures. That's still fine. So they still are 2-digit Celsius degrees, so it's not too cold down there. If we look at the clouds, cloud cover, there's thick cloud cover, make it difficult for them for the next days. So they really have to pass those little glimpses here. So that's in two days to get positions. And if we have a look at the waves, right now, not much happening there. So that's really smooth sailing there. So yeah, smooth sailing to catch some nice tuna, eh? Before there's the swell coming, right there. So what's this guy over here? Oh, there you go. That's another big. Right, there you go. Some big systems there. So that's the high moving there, and. But if we carry on, so the next 2-3 days we see these big lows down here, and the little low over here. They don't affect the fleet at all, which is good to see, and it will continue like this for the next days. So good days ahead. Good days ahead for those who chose the southern route, who dipped south early enough. Not so good days for those who are too far north, l'Esprit d'Équipe, Spirit of Helsinki. But yeah, they have to pay the price. They have to sail the extra miles now before they can head east again. So that's pretty much it. I hope you're all doing very well. One thing before we sign off here. Oh, that's very large. Anyway, today, this is my last Trekker update. I thank you all so much for following over the last years. Maybe some of you know me probably from the GGR and also from the 580 updates. I've been on board for 2 years now, and in the end of January, I'm carrying on to new adventures. I'm gonna go to Norway. I want to try sailing more in the Arctic and in the polar regions, chasing polar lights. I'm very excited for that. Also want to do a bit more instructing. So everything is pointing to spending more time on the water. Organizing these races together with the team is a lot of fun, but also involves a lot of computer work. So it's time to go on the water again. So to everyone, to the very, very trusty followers, especially those on Facebook who are always watching the Trekker updates, who are always following Don every day. Like Kathleen, she's always there. But yeah, there's many people there, and you really make this race big and very special, and make it feel like a little family. So thank you all for that, and I wish everybody the best. And this is it from me. And who knows, maybe I will see you sometime somewhere. And I just clicked myself away. Anyway, bye.